Hello, everybody. All right, that sounds all right. All right, so looks like we have three people in here already. So let's go over what's going to be on tap for tonight. I have three articles I'm going to go over from Bounding into Comics. Couple in regards to, I guess, the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle series coming out. We'll be looking at that. Also, we will be also looking at an article in regards to One Punch Man, some other stuff coming out from that. So also, of course, wrestling wrap up and the wrestling wrap up and the wrestling wrap up and this day in each history. So hopefully everybody's having a good week thus far. We're still early in the week here. Let's see. Yeah, we went almost 2 hours last night, or just over 2 hours last night. We did talk a bit about the situation with Chris Brawley, Mike Barron, and the people at Crowdfunder. So that's why we need to support sites like Fund My Comics to counter some of the censorship that these companies are doing. Yeah. First off, if you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and/or ask questions, and I will do the best to my ability to answer those questions. Let's see now. We're at what 2.5 minutes, so I'm going to just step away from the computer for a moment to take care of something real quick while we're waiting more people to come in. I'll be right back, but I will leave you with some music to listen to while I'm away. Dead air here. Be right back. All right, I'm back. So um, hopefully everybody having a good week, as I said thus far. Hopefully soon enough to better. Anyways, with that, we're now at the 5 minute mark. So why don't we go ahead and get started on the articles then? So here we go. Let me just gonna go and check one more thing real quick here. I'll be right back. All right, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started here. So, here's the first article, one of two articles in regard to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That color scheme's not that great. Look, I'm sorry. Um, First trailer for Seth Rogen's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem introduces another race-swapped April O'Neil. Oh boy. Article by Spencer McCooley, published March 6th, 2023. Television. It seems a new racial status quo has been put in place on the ooze-covered streets of Manhattan. As for the second time in as many reboots, the upcoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem animated film will feature another race-swapped version of the Turtles' most trusted ally, April O'Neil. Yeah, because apparently white people cannot, you know, um, yeah. Released on March 6th, which was this past Monday, the first trailer for Seth Rogen's take on the ever butt-kicking heroes opens with a short montage of various New York locales, including the Upper New York Bay skyline, Manhattan Bridge, and unspecified street view, before cutting to a still shot of a generic city manhole cover. Amidst these establishing shots, a text crawl informs audiences that the film, quote, from permanent teenager Seth Rogen, unquote, will see a, quote, a new generation of heroes will rise straight from the sewer. Ninjas in a half shell, turtle power. I get it looks kind of like computer CGI to me. Seems like a CGI project would appear. Um, all right. Suddenly, the aforementioned manhole blows sky high, a side effect of the turtles emerging in quick succession from their subterranean home. Making their way to a nearby rooftop, the turtles. Yeah, that's a common place for a lot of urban heroes, right? The rooftops. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Batman, Spider-Man. You can find many of these heroes just lurking about on the rooftops of a big city. um, the turtles are then seen attempting to film a cell phone video of Raphael, I guess is being voiced by Brady Noon of the Mighty Duck Game Changers video. using Leonardo's katana to slice open um, of Raphael, using Leonardo's katana to slice open a watermelon. Okay. Upon successfully cutting it in half, a la Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, um, Raphael proposes, quote, let's try that again, but with ninja stars. Okay. So you want to go from cutting a watermelon in half with with a katana blade, a katana sword, to using ninja throwing stars, or or as the Japanese put it, the shuriken. Hello, Mike in the chat. Hey, Shadowhawk, thanks for dropping in. If you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, and of course, if anything here we talk about grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I will try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. So let's continue on with this about the second Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot that has the race swapped April O'Neil. And while Donatello, who's voiced by Micah Abbey from Cousins for Life, and Michelangelo, who is voiced by Shannon Brown Jr. Of the Chi, initially react to the idea with glee. Leonardo is voiced by Nicholas Cantu from The Walking Dead: The World Beyond, can be seen behind them with a questioning look on his face. The latter is soon taken aback upon discovering that he would have to be the one to hold the target for his brothers. Oh boy. Yeah, that's not really a cool idea. Having your three brothers sitting there throwing shurikens, trying to slice a watermelon in half or in thirds or whatever, and you get to hold it up and stand right behind it, either catching the missed shuriken shots, or the ones that do make it clear through, catching those shuriken right in your chest and stomach area. Yeah, that's like he might as well volunteer himself for seppuku, right? That would be something else, wouldn't it? Anyways, as we continue on here, this prompts Mikey to sarcastically complain, quote, "Hey, why don't we take a fruit shaped exactly like my head?" Okay. Quote. Stop talking. You're ruining my concentration, chastises Raphael in turn, with Donatello adding, quote, "You're fine, chill," unquote, before commenting under his breath, quote unquote, "He's gonna die." Some funny stuff here, isn't it? Oh, look at that. Proceeding to let loose his ninja star, Raphael successfully misses Mikey's head and slices. So I guess they decided, instead of holding it like this, I guess they held it like this. That would make some sense. You wouldn't want to actually skewer your brother, right? Skewer your brother, right? And slices right through the melon, only for his weapon to overshoot, fly off the roof, and cause unseen chaos in the street below. I wonder what that could be about. I got a few ideas, but let's see what they say about that. In turn, Leonardo rushes past his brothers, frantically asking, quote, "Wait, did you hear that? What was that?" Unquote. The trailer then cuts to show the four brothers gazing down at the scene below, um, with looks of fear and dread scrawled upon their faces. At which time, Raph attempts to playfully exit stage left by suggesting, quote, "Well, nothing we can do. You guys want to grab pizza?" Oh boy. If I had to guess, somebody got nailed with one of those shurikens and, of course, died. That'd be my guess. Uh, Look at that. They're all kind of scared, dumbfounded, and the like. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Uh, from there, the short preview cuts to present a second montage, this time of the film's core cast, including the titular turtles and their father, Master Splinter, who is voiced by Jackie Chan here, of course, the Lego Ninjago movie, among other things, including Jackie Chan. Those fearsome fighting teams. When the evil Shredder attacks, these turtle boys don't cut 'em no slice. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, heroes in a half shell, turtle power. Anyways, moving on with the moving on with the with the article here. A group of random thugs, one of whom questions, quote, "What the heck are these things?" Unquote. To which one of his partners quips back, quote, "They look like little Shreks to me." I guess modernizing the context, obviously. The towering Bebop, who is voiced by Seth Rogen himself, who of course was in Invincible, and Rocksteady, John Cena, of course, Peacemaker fame, WWE superstar, um, who actually made an appearance on Raw last night in Boston, to help hype up WrestleMania. We'll get to that a little bit more later. Both of whom are shown grooving to tunes on their classic boombox. Um, and finally, a black-skinned, red-dreaded, and bespectacled April O'Neil, who is voiced here by Ayo Edebiri from The Bear. So, dark, black-skinned, red-dreaded, bespectacled. So they didn't just race swap her; they just completely changed her look altogether. I mean, this is more than just race swapping. They're just, you know, it's almost like they're trying to blackwash her. Anyways, as the trailer's main video comes to a close, Leonardo can be heard saying, quote, "We've prepared our whole lives for this," unquote, before ending on a slapstick comedy scene wherein Raphael trips, drops his size. For those of you who don't know, a sai are these like kind of long. They usually come in pairs. They're kind of long mini swords, basically. The main blade is in the middle, and then you have a couple of like accessories, or I don't know what they'd be called, but they come off to the side like this, basically. But sais are like little mini swords, basically, sword blades. So, and watches as They bounce around the room before ultimately ending its chaotic journey lodged inside of Donatello's leg. Okay. Um, oh, okay. Yeah, that's not a good scene. In other words, when he trips, his sides start taking off. They start bouncing around. They eventually go right into Donatello. Yeah, that's got to be quote, "Oh my God, I'm gonna be sick," unquote, responds Leonardo, as his brother proceeds to shriek and scream. Yeah, having little swords go right into your leg is not going to be a pleasant experience for anybody. I don't believe that's going to be quite painful. And if those shy are not that sterilized, it's going to even be worse. Oh boy, yikes. Yikes. Quote, Leo, what happened? Is Donnie bleeding? Unquote. Mikey inquires, only to be met with a panicked screech of, quote, it's still in my leg! Unquote. From Donatello, and a warning of, quote, Mikey, watch out! Unquote. From Leonardo, as a flying canister of gas makes its way in their direction. Oh boy. Oh, this is quite an interesting trailer, isn't it? Finally, the trailer concludes proper with an end stinger featuring April O'Neil, who appears to be depicted as more short and stout than any of her previous incarnations. Yeah, as I said, they didn't just race swap her; they just completely changed her altogether. Again, to probably try to fit with some stupid woke mindset. Attempting to take notes regarding the turtles' origins, quote, so you were baby turtles who made contact with Mystery Goo, unquote. She recaps to her new friends, only for them to interrupt with Marvel-esque ad-lib banter regarding their preference for the term ooze. Um, yeah, ooze, quote unquote. Quote, it's just like it rolls off the tongue better. Yeah. Ooze. Ooze. It's nice, right? Unquote, the four brothers collectively reply, each one talking over the other. As noted above, Mutant Mayhem's race swapping of April, the second time in recent years that the intrepid reporter's character, had undergone such a revision. Well, they okay. In this case, they didn't just race swap her. They basically they really did a number on her. They made her. They took her from being tall and skinny to to short and stout, as they said. They braided her hair up for whatever reason, I guess. Um, uh, anyways, yeah, but they didn't just race swap her. They just it's almost like they just completely changed her character. At least the physical appearance, anyways. Um, in the Turtles 2018 to 2020 animated outing for Nickelodeon, Rise of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, April was similarly reimagined as a teenage, quick to quip black girl. In parentheses here, though rather than a reporter, this version was portrayed as a fighter on par with the turtles themselves. So in this case, this is I guess the one they're talking about. April O'Neil, who I guess was voiced by Kat Graham there, I guess they decided to turn her from an adult reporter to maybe more like a teenage comrade to the Turtles, along with the race swapping. Again, another like major change there. Notably, though many defenders of April's race swapping in both Rise and Mutant Mayhems have long attempted to claim that she was initially depicted as black in Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird's original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles book series. This is nothing more than a misconception that has taken on a life of its own. I wonder what Eastman and Laird would say about this. Making her public debut in the second issue of the franchise's flagship title, April was originally depicted with straight hair and a fairly light complexion, especially compared to that of the actual confirmed black character, Dr. Baxter Stockman, um, who was depicted by Laird with explicitly dark skin tone. Well, if the original comic was in black and white, I could see how people might interpret it as let's see. Then 2 issues later, April would undergo a slight makeover, suddenly deciding to get her hair permed, as was a widely popular fashion choice during the 1980s. This change, combined with the black and white nature of the book's art, led many to misinterpret the turtle's longtime friend as a black woman. I guess what they're saying there is because of the fact the perm was probably a perm in the style of something that a black woman might wear or might have styled. However, as the years went on, trends changed. 1989 would ultimately see April return to original straight hair style in the series' 28th issue. Of course, this is also around the time that the original cartoon was running as well. Hey, Rick. Hey, y'all. Hey, Rick. If you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here, that'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. With that, as we continue on here with the article. However, okay. Oh yeah, we already read that part. A favorite citation regularly raised those who believe April was originally intended to be black. Again, the little typo there is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Volume 1, Number 32, Egyptian Adventure. As in the second printing of the issue, she was explicitly depicted as a black woman. Yet what many do not realize is that this issue was not produced by the Turtles creators, but rather by underground comic artist Mark Baudet. So basically, this is somebody else who decided to take the Turtles property and interpret it in their own way. Produced during a period when Mirage was allowing other creators to play with Eastman and Laird's toys, the stories published as part of this idea, issues number 22 through 44, are considered non-canon. So these are not considered canon because these were not these were not what further, this mistake was corrected long ago, and all subsequent reprints of the story have consistently portrayed April with white skin. So here's from the original story, I guess. Here's from the original um, artwork of the time, and this, I guess, is from the reprinted versions. Yet perhaps the strongest evidence against April being originally intended as a black character is that her creators have long and regularly denying that she was conceived as such. All right, I think that should be said regularly denied that she was conceived as such, not denying. In his 2002 series retrospective, Eastman noted that April was originally created as an Asian character. In in brackets Laird's notes, but named after an African American woman I once knew. The character April O'Neil was introduced in issue number 2 and would have a bunch of different looks throughout Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle history. So, if anything, they originally intended her to be Asian American, not black, not white, but Asian American. Kind of an interesting concept there of Asian American woman with a name like April O'Neil, which you would think would be, obviously with the name O'Neil, that would imply Irish descent, actually, I believe. Irish or Scottish. I think, yeah, Irish descent, I believe. Asked by a fan for clarification on the subject in 2009, Laird would speculate that the answer of April's race, quote, depends on which co creator of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles you ask, unquote. Quote, if you ask me, I always saw April O'Neil as white, unquote, he said. Quote, if you ask Kevin, I expect he would say, as he has in a number of interviews, that she was of mixed race, much like his former girlfriend, in parentheses here, then wife, then ex-wife, April, unquote. So Laird, who was the artist, always envisioned her as white. Um, I guess Kevin would envision her as a mixed race of Asian and Caucasian. That's what I'm guessing they're getting at here. Anything more being said? No, not yet. And in 2013, after once again being approached about the topic on his personal blog, Laird would reaffirm that he, quote, has always imagined her as white and very likely of Irish, Scottish, English ancestry, unquote, which again makes sense. The name April O'Neil. O'Neil is, I think, an Irish, Scottish surname. Okay. So, you know, Irish, Scottish surname with red hair. Those are that surname and the red hair are pretty distinctive of Irish, Scottish people. Let's see. Quote, Kevin may have had a different view, and I can't speak for him, but that's the way I always saw her, unquote, he explained. Quote, as for the coloring of her skin, in the color reprints of the Mirage comics, referring to the discussion surrounding the above issue number 32, Kevin always had a lot more input on that end of our business than I did. And in fact, I'm pretty sure he did the colors on the initial such reprinting from First Comics, and one in graphic novel form Make of that what you will, unquote. Yeah. Yeah, you could argue there, if you look at that, you could make an argument there that there might be some Asian characteristics in that artwork um, being depicted there. But, excuse me. Ultimately, though, the two appear to be entirely unsure of just what exact inspirations the other looked to when creating April. Seems they both agree that she was a white character whose name and appearance took some cues from Eastman's late first wife, April Fisher. All right. And of course, April's new racial identity comes as no surprise given that the film's creator, Rogan, outright declared that he was attempting to help diversify Hollywood machine by, quote, just actively trying to make less things starring white people. Of course. And I bet you the movie's gonna bomb like Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It's gonna be one huge giant turd they're just gonna drop. Um, that's usually the way that woke things go. Quote. And if I'm succeeding or I'm not, I'm very much looking to have a far more diverse group of writers and directors and actors that we generally work with because that group is not incredibly diverse, unquote. He told Entertainment Weekly's Leah Greenblatt in August 2020, quote, so that's how I've been trying to deal with it, is just to actively take, as they would say, anti-racist measures to assure that some work is doing done. I think it's supposed to be being done to acknowledge that black people are very marginalized in American society. Oh, brother. I wonder, is if I understand correctly, I think Seth Rogen is white, right? Um, if I understand correctly, Seth Rogen is white, right? Yeah. Not only is he white, but he's a Canadian. He's a Canadian. No wonder. Yeah. No wonder. No wonder he's got kind of a messed up mindset. Uh, so this guy trying to claim. So Seth Rogen trying to like be all like, oh yeah, I feel guilty because black people aren't represented enough. Yeah, well, yeah, so just looking into some things here a little bit real quick. Hmm. Just looking into some stuff real quick here. Just as the article said, he was apparently married to a woman named April Fisher who passed away, but Because according to some of these other sources, he was never married to a woman named April Fisher. But actually, on IMDb, it did confirmed he was. So he's had three spouses: April Fisher, Julie Strain, and Courtney Eastman. Okay. I guess Eastman would be her married name, obviously. But anyways, coming back to the article here. So yeah, so Seth Rogen, I guess, is just trying to play up white guilt. I guess I am very in a toss-up if I will go watch it, and I have seen all of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies till now. Giving Canadians a bad name, yeah, yeah, I'd say Seth Rogen is doing that, isn't he, Rick? Yeah. Present company excluded, of course. um, yeah. Sorry about that. I should have said that sooner. Anyway, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem flips into theaters on August 4th, 2023. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I remember covering that article a while back, which I didn't necessarily agree with the thought. When the evil Shredder attacks, these turtle boys don't cut no slice. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant. Now we're gonna start. We're gonna come up with the second Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle article of the night here. Um, Night Turtle Soup. Gonna make it right. Well, yeah, I guess you could say that, Rick. We have a couple of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stories that we can kind of go over here. That's why we got quite a bit. And then after this, of course, we got a story about My Hero Academia. So here we go. In smaller quotes here, Dark Side of the Ring creator shares, quote, tone reel, unquote, for a Ninja Turtles movie pitch starring Casey Jones and gets Deathstroke actor Joe Manganiello's approval. Article by J.D. Augustine, published today, 7th here. Some dream projects inspired by a filmmaker's preferred fandom never materialize, and a lot of them don't because they never reach farther than the creator's imagination. Every fandom and IP has someone in Hollywood wishing and willing to put their own spin on the concept or a facet of it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is one such property, and of course, with the last article we just read, that is definitely the case. Um, Between the comics' popular characters, the handful of action packed films that spring into action each decade, and the ubiquity of their cartoon series over the years, it's no wonder that the Turtles developed a devoted following of creatives ready to crack some shells. Um, but in some cases, their hopes are quietly dashed and details of their vision surface years later. Um, just checking the time where we're at on time here. Let's see. This is what happened to filmmaker and producer Jason Eisner, the mind behind Hobo with a Shotgun and Vice's Dark Side of Dark a documentary series. Um, as he explains, Eisner tried to sell Paramount on a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie 5 years ago, concentrated on a beloved side character who's not a turtle or mutant. He wanted to make a film focusing on Casey Jones. Sharing a quote unquote tone reel as proof of concept, Eisner tweeted, quote, 5 years ago, I pitched a Casey Jones standalone film to Paramount with Shredder's daughter, Karai, as the heel antagonist. Heel, of course, is a wrestling term for antagonist, just for those who don't know. The final act saw Casey team up with Raphael, who was, in brackets 2, looked like he stepped out of the 1990 film. Here's the tone reel I made, and I guess that's from his Twitter account there. Shy of 2 minutes long and featuring quote "I" by Dio, the reel is a montage of clips from several sources, including the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, in which Casey was played by Elias Cotes, 2009's Warrior Tango in Cash, 2009's Warrior, Tango and Cash, Maniac Cop, Black Rain, and Stranger Things. Each image presented depicts hopelessness, hurt, crime, violence, dystopia, and rage in some way, usually on the streets of New York. Do 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 do. Ooh yeah. Even though the reel is compellingly put together, Paramount clearly passed on the idea. If, however, Eisner had an actor ready to play Jones, they might have said yes. He's a couple of years too late, but Deathstroke and Magic Mike actor Joe Manganiello um, not only replied to Eisner expressing his interest, but revealed he informed the studio of his desire to portray the self-styled vigilante. Here's what he, I guess, wrote in his tweet there. Quote, about 10 years ago, Paramount wanted to make something with me, and I said I wanted to play Casey Jones, unquote. Manga Niello tweeted, quote, I would have done this in a heartbeat, unquote. Eisner, using a surprised face emoji, tweeted back, how amazing it would have been to have the actor, arguably an upgrade from Stephen Amell, in this movie. Ouch. Ouch. Uh, Paramount went in a different direction with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. At the time, casting Amell, but barely scratching the surface of Casey Jones' potential. Yeah, they're probably thinking, well, yeah, who would really want to see a movie about a side character from a popular franchise? Probably a standalone movie featuring Casey Jones could be made with a Joker or 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle level budget and reap massive rewards. The studio, though, appears content with Seth Rogen getting first dibs on an animated feature. Of course they do. That whole corporate woke mentality, right? Right? That whole corporate woke mentality. Shots fired. Dude. Shots fired across the bow. Right, so now we'll get ready to get into the next, or the last article we're going to do tonight, as I only have the three. And we already talked about the whole crowdfunder issue. That's why we're not, that's one of the two reasons why we're not doing that particular story. But before I do need to step away from the computer for a moment. But I will be right back. What I'm going to do is I'll put some music on to keep you guys entertained. Rick, of course, if you want, you can go ahead. You can share your link if you want. I know you'll be leaving in a little while here to do your show, but thanks for popping in. If you want to leave a link for people to come check it out afterwards. Anyways, I'll be right now. Hey, RJ. Potty, yeah. Yeah, we're just covering a couple of news on a couple of separate movie ideas, I guess. And thank you for the like and the share, by the way, of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. One of them, the Seth Rogen one that's coming out, and then this one, the one we just talked about, was one that was pitched by Dark Side of the Ring creator years ago. So, anyways, now we're gonna look at a story regarding One Punch Man here. All right, so One Punch Man artist Yusuke Murata unveils first teaser for his debut original anime, Zayuki. Um, whether he's sculpting monsters for to use as epic reference models, drawing grand manga fights, or developing an original anime with his own anime studio, Village Studio. Iconic One Punch Man and Eye Shield 21 mangaka, which is a manga creator, that's September, Yusuke Murata, is slowly becoming the example of a modern day Renaissance man. Wow, sounds interesting. On February 23rd, translated via DeepL, Murata unveiled Village Studios' first original anime, Zayuki. Hmm. High critical class. Uh-huh. All right, so let's see now. Inspired by the journey to the West, um, the series will tell a coming of age story centered around a frail kappa boy named Goyo, who is thrust into a life changing adventure after getting caught up in the turmoil caused by a group of treasure hunting rogues. Alongside the initial announcement, Murata also released sketches introducing the main characters of his upcoming take on the classic Chinese folktale. First up was the aforementioned Kappa named Goyo, um, and the leader of the treasure hunting gang that throws his life into chaos. Shuangzong, both of whose characters take their inspiration from the fictional monk Tong Sangzong, or Tripitaka, the main protagonist of the original story, and whose task of retrieving a set of Buddhist scriptures from the West, in parentheses India, composes its main narrative. So the one on the left there, I guess, is the Kappa boy, Gojo. Next was Zhuangzong's partner in crime, the Gyaru Rose herself, um, based on the journey of the West resident hedonist, Zhu Baiji, or simply Pigsy in some translations. Basically, the girly girl of the group. Oh boy, talk about good girl art. Hey guys. Hey RJ, talk about good girl art. uh, Good show about crowdfunder. Yeah. Anyways, getting back to the article here. And finally, the series version of the golden clad monkey, Sun Wu Kong, himself, Satan Daisho. There's him right there. Following this initial tease, fans were shocked when just 2 weeks later, Murata tweeted out a two-part teaser trailer for the series, simply titled, quote, a part, unquote. The first portion of the trailer focuses on introducing Zayuki's lead protagonist, the cowardly Goyo, Gojo, emphasizing the type of frail, weak, and pathetic lifestyle he has been living thus far. This initial part concludes with what seems to be a life-changing encounter between Gojo and Seitan Daisho at an airport. Let's see. Hey, we have quite a few people watching now. Goody. The second part of the trailer continues with a fast-paced, intense action sequence involving Gojo and Seitan Daisho at the airport fighting off an army of police who are attempting to arrest the latter. As the fight intensifies, a getaway van being driven by Zhuang Zhang suddenly crashes through the airport glass doors. After the van comes to a complete stop, its sliding door opens to reveal Pigsy, who then proceeds to pull the two wanted individuals inside before successfully making a getaway. Yeah. Notably, though, Zayuki will be Murata and Village Studios' first full-blown series. It's not taught their first is not taught their first overall animation production. That honor actually belongs to a September 2021 short known as Go Saitama, a supplementary story for the month's chapter of One Punch Man. The short followed the titular Saitama as he raced to the 1 yen hot pot sale being held at his local grocery store. As of writing, Zayuki has yet to receive an official release date. Okay, so there we go with that one. That's all we got on the articles tonight. So let's see. Well, that's all I had planned, anyways. Let's see if anything new came in because we are a little shy on time here. If not, we can probably get into the wrestling. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. So that's all we got for the main articles, anyways. So I guess we'll get to the wrestling wrap up here a little bit. So last night's Raw, they continued to build up towards WrestleMania. Thus far, of course, as we know, the matches that have been signed thus far for this year's WrestleMania include Roman Reigns defending the WWE, both the WWE title and the Universal title against Cody Rhodes. Let's see. That's all I know as far as I know, but we can go ahead and I can find the what we need to look for here. This year's WrestleMania 39 from Inglewood, California, will be held the weekend of April 1st and 2nd. Thus far, and some of these matches were also announced last night. Of course, as we said, Roman Reigns will be defending the Universal title against Cody Rhodes on night one. Charlotte Flair defends the SmackDown Women's title. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair defends the Raw. Charlotte Flair, the SmackDown Women's title against Rhea Ripley. Bianca Belair, the Raw Women's title against Asuka. Some of the matches that were signed over the last couple of weeks include Austin. Well, last night John Cena made an appearance, and they made it official that John Cena would be challenging Austin Theory for the WWE United States Heavyweight title. Also, some matches that were previously announced include Brock Lesnar taking on Omos. The current WWE Tag Team Champions, Becky Lynch and Lita, teaming with Trish Stratus to take on the female faction of Damage Control of Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky, and Seth Rollins taking on Logan Paul. So, and there was some build up. As one of the other storylines going right now was Jey Uso and where his loyalties actually stand going in. He answered that by basically saying family first, and he's now back with his family in the bloodline. They have been possibly trying to push putting together a match between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens against Jay and Jimmy Uso for the WWE for the unified WWE World Tag Team Championships. Kevin Owens did defeat Solo Sikoa last night via DQ, mind you, but as that story continues to heat up, as again they continue to, and there is some concern because apparently Vince McMahon was in gorilla position last night at Raw. Basically, gorilla positions that area right behind the curtain before they come out. That's where people, and that's usually where people in charge of the night usually stand. Now, supposedly they're saying that he was just there to visit John Cena. He was just there for a visit. He wasn't really involved in anything with the show. Albeit some people feel that maybe he is being involved, depending on some of these bookings. There's also a talk they want to try to sign a match between Bobby Lashley and Bray Wyatt for this year's WrestleMania as well. So WrestleMania this year, of course, will be coming up on April 1st and 2nd of this year. I guess it's been a 2-night event for the last couple years at least here, as far as I know. And WWE is still scrambling for to see who they want to possibly put into the Hall of Fame this year. So that's still being bannered about. Now in AEW news, of course, AEW is coming off of its Revolution pay-per-view. Of course, I went over the results last night. So now, of course, on tomorrow night's Dynamite, we will see. On tomorrow night's Dynamite, we will see. See some of the fallout from that. Wardlow, of course, who had just won the TNT title from Samoa Joe at Revolution, will now be defending the title against Powerhouse Hobbs, who had become the number one contender by winning the Face of the Revolution ladder match last Wednesday. Honestly, I hope that they do work a feud here. I don't know. I hope they don't necessarily just put the title right on Hobbs right away. I'd hope that they'd keep it on Wardlow at least a little while here. Have them work a feud where, maybe over the next few weeks or next couple pay-per-views, where they have, a series of matches, 3 to 5 matches, work through it. And then the other match already announced for tomorrow night will be a no DQ match between Stokely Hathaway and Hook. As apparently the firm lost a tag match last week, which that if they had lost, or actually, no, what it was that Matt Hardy was given an opportunity at the FTW title that's held by Hook. If he lost a match, then Hook would get a match with Stokely Hathaway, and that's bigger. Now Matt and Isaiah Hathaway have said, "Yeah, we'll train you, man. We'll train you. We'll train you." So we'll see where that all goes. Coming off of a peak, and I'm sure we'll hear from the Salt of the Earth, MJF, Mackerel Jacob Freeman, as he will probably be bragging about how he beat Bryan Danielson at his own game and all that, in the 60-minute Iron Man match, which will just draw even more heat. So we'll wait to see. One of the other things, of course, we also had a couple of things happen at this past Sunday's Revolution, in which Ruby Soho turned heel, and we had the return of FTR, which will probably mean that it's possible that maybe Tony Khan will book an FTR Guns feud over the AEW World Tag Team titles. And Claim may still be in it as well. You might see that happen as well. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see how all that pans out. There were, of course, as we mentioned last night, there were a couple of title changes at the Revolution pay-per-view. As mentioned earlier, Wardlow defeating Samoa Joe for the TNT title, and House of Black defeating the Elite for the World Trios title. So we'll wait till tomorrow night to see what the fallout from Revolution will be, and how all that will come to fruition. Let me see. I don't know if they have any matches signed for this Friday's Rampage yet. I should probably check that as well. Let's see. Do they have any matches signed for this? No, not yet. That'll be broadcast this Friday, of course. But they're taping usually when they have the live Dynamite, they also tape episodes of Rampage and Elevation the following Monday. So let's see. So I guess that's all for that now. That's all of the wrestling wrap up we have. So let's see. Hour 14. I was planning on trying to, since we went kind of long last night, I was kind of hoping to cut a little short, So maybe around 120 mark or so. So we're at an hour 14 now, going on an hour 15. So I think I'll start to wrap up here with this day in each history. Today being Tuesday, March the 7th, 2023. Let's take a look back at this day in each history. Alrighty then. So with that, let's go ahead and look back at this day in each history. And of course, as I remind myself, 2018, 1953. That's from 98. A couple of things from 98 here, I believe. Yes. All right. So without any further ado, let's take a look back at this day in each history. So first off, we're going to head back 70 years ago today, as on this date, 70 years ago today. Um, all right, so with that, okay, so on this date 70 years ago today, um, Gorgeous George, I believe that's Gorgeous George Wagner, um, defeated Aldo Bogny for the NWA for Georgia's version of the NWA Southern Heavyweight Championship. So on this date, 70 years ago today, Gorgeous George, probably the guy who, in essence, inspired guys like Buddy Rogers, Ric Flair, Buddy Landell, with the whole, with the whole well, I guess even up to today with even Dalton Castle, this the very kind of flashy, flamboyant appearance. Well, on this date, 70 years ago today, George Wagner, aka Gorgeous George, um, basically won the he won the Georgia version of the NWA um, Southern Heavyweight Championship. There you go. With that, so I'm getting ready to move on to the next piece of niche history, as it were, as we move ahead to 1998. As on this date in 1998, Deke Productions, Gadget Boy, and Heather, which which of course is part of the Inspector Gadget franchise. Deke Productions, Gadget Boy, um, and Heather completed its run on this date 25 years ago today. This date 25 years ago today in 1998, Gadget Boy and Heather would conclude its run on its syndicated as well as his channel runs on their proverbial and as such 1998 is just so nice that we're gonna hit it twice. As also on this date in 1998, come on, yeah, there we go. On this date in 1998, Chanel Animations Doraemon, Nobita's Great Adventure in the South Seas, premiered on this date in back in 1988. 25 years ago today, the Doraemon movie from Chanel Animation, Doraemon Nobita's Great Adventures in the South Sea, premiered in Japan on this date 25 years ago today. I believe this also might be the same company that did Crayon Shin-Chan. The animation style is pretty similar to Crayon Shin-Chan. So, so there you go with that one. And we have one more piece of niche history to get through before we wrap things up. And also on this date, this time 5 years ago from 2018, on this date 5 years ago today, the 5th issue of Archie and Me Comics Digest went on sale on this date in back in 2018, 5 years ago today. Sold for $6.99. It's 128 pages. So on this date, 5 years ago today, the 5th issue of Archie and Me Comics Digest went on sale on this date 5 years ago today. So there we go with that one. Thank everybody for being here tonight. And we did get up to an hour 20, which is what I was trying to do there. I hope everybody enjoyed the content tonight. I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow night for more niche news. Niche news, and articles. Hopefully, Bounding in the Comments, we'll have a few more there. Also, don't forget this Friday, Rick Piper will be joining me as we will be looking back to September 1939, looking back at comics that went on sale, or the comic that went on sale from Brookwood Publications, which later became known as Harvey Comics, Speed Comics #2, which we'll be looking at the features including Shock Gibson, Ted Parrish, and maybe Texas Tyler. So with that, guys, I thank you all for being here tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed the content, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.